Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is November 26, 2021, and today is Friday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the Dow Jones tumbles over 400 points this morning with a scare that there's a new variant for the coronavirus. Now, first, no major economic events scheduled for today, but as we look at the major pairs, at the major Forex symbols, the Euro, the British Pound, and the Aussie Dollar, all the majors are on their lows versus the USD. In terms of the indices, the Dow Jones tanks while the NASDAQ trades lower. As mentioned before, looking at commodities, gold actually bounces on the news, while oil tanks in the anticipation there's going to be further restrictions. Now, looking at the stocks, markets are pretty much closed yesterday, so not major or anything really going over there. Lastly, looking at Bitcoin, it consolidates and showing some strength still. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. We're looking at the Eur Usd. Look at that nice dive. I mean, it's been on this downwards momentum since May. It hasn't really changed. We're looking at a monthly, as you can see here. So really, to give us perspective, we got to look at a 4-hour chart. Altogether, we are consolidating here. Okay, this is a major moving average. If it does move above it, then I would imagine that it's going to bounce above it. Now, how much can it bounce? Okay, so my anticipation that it would bounce is from 1,600 down to 1,200. So somewhere in between 50% of that. Okay, so that would be somewhere about 1,400. It could potentially move all the way up there. Possibly. Okay, so just keep that in mind as the short covering start, the short squeeze start. Now, looking at the Gbp Usd, it's at that point, hasn't changed. Okay, it's been trickling down. And looking at the Aussie Dollar, further declining this morning to 71.28. And looking at that on a daily, you could see it's on its lows. Okay, so if it does continue breaking this and does break that 70, we could see it for new lows for the year for sure. Now, looking at the commodities, let's look at gold. Gold bouncing here at 1,800. Not a big bounce, but a bounce. Okay, because I'm showing some life here. When we look at crude oil, look at what happened yesterday. 78 down to 75 on its lows. If that does break, we could see it breaking even further. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, okay, this is where we're at right now, at 35,000 points. Okay, look at that. It's just breaking lower, okay, on its lows right here. And it could further break on the downside. Okay, that's over 700 points from yesterday. Okay, so that's a major retracement for there. Now, looking at the NASDAQ also retracing here. But remember, 1,690, is a support level for the NASDAQ. Okay, so this is really, a place where I would look for it to potentially hit and bounce off of it, okay, later today. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, really, 34,700 is really your next support level, okay? Let's look at that, right? 34,700 is previous resistance-ish area. So that's really the level that I would anticipate it for it to go down to. Now, looking at the individual stocks, okay, Apple showed some strength the previous day. Facebook showed some strength. Microsoft showed some strength. Amazon showed some strength, but really, if the markets are low, this may be a time where people are going to retrace and really take some money off the table in this environment. So just keep that in mind. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, retracing and consolidating here. Okay, it's trading between 59 and 56. Okay, we're right smack in the middle of that right now. Nothing really doing. Okay, so just keep that in mind, as we go into today's trading session. Now, the day after Thanksgiving is historically a day that the markets rally because everybody's home and everybody's buying stocks, right? I'm not sure if it's going to happen today. Okay, it might be a day where everybody starts taking money off the table and starts booking their profits going into the end of the year. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day and a beautiful weekend. Thank you.